lovely Tanya Rivera.
Hey,
guest.
back to work, back to work, back to work.
Well, we certainly missed you, and we hope you had a great birthday celebration.
Fantastic time. We're going to talk about it a little bit later on, and we're going to talk about whether you take a squish day or not when you come back from vacation.
Very
Sounds
cool. Sounds interesting. We'll make sure that you head on to our Facebook page. We are live. Join the live stream because we certainly have a lot to talk about today. North Carolina is now offering a new vaccine incentive at some locations. Anyone new getting their first dose of the vaccine can do so at designated vaccine locations. The gift cards start tomorrow and will run through the end of August. This is only for adults 18 and older. Anyone driving a person to their first dose appointment can also get a $25 gift card to help offset the cost of travel. And we are getting a closer look at what back to school could look like.
That's right. State education and health leaders talked about the changes to the Strong Schools North Carolina Toolkit, which it guides the districts in making COVID-19 precautions.
And WFMY News 2's Grace Holland is breaking down what it all means.
NCDHHS says all students K through 12 should wear a mask whether they're vaccinated or not, but it's a recommendation, not a requirement. Let's take a look at some of the other guidelines. Quarantining rules are also changing. If there's an exposure around a group of masked students, no one will have to quarantine, but quarantining will still be recommended if both students are unmasked or if only one is wearing a mask. That could make a difference in districts that have made masks optional. The state also put out new guidelines for how to conduct COVID testing and encourage vaccinations. This is also going to mean some safety precautions can go away. NCDHHS says schools do not need to limit visitors, can bring back field trips and assemblies, and can return students to normal class sizes. Again, these are all recommendations, and it's up to each district to decide how to handle it. You can hear how some of our largest districts here in the Triad plan to do all of these steps coming up at 5 and 6.
All right, so Triad school districts, they're trying to quickly form some masking plans for students and staff. Wilkes County Schools is the latest district to approve optional mask use for everyone. Davidson County approved a mask optional policy just last night. Randolph County made the same announcement last month. Stokes County made that same decision Monday. Now, Montgomery County Schools confirmed today that they will require masks for all students and staff. The Alamance Burlington School Board voted yesterday to require mask wearing. Guilford and WINSTON-SALEM Forsyth County Schools approved a similar policy last week. Now, cases are rapidly rising because of that Delta variant, which health officials say is more contagious than the other strands of the virus. But here's the question that so many are asking. What makes this variant more contagious than others? Well, healthcare experts explain that the Delta variant has learned how to multiply and spread itself quickly. For a virus to survive, it has to multiply, but here's what the difference is. It attaches to our cells, and once it attaches, the virus can access the cell in order to multiply. Health officials say the problem with Delta is it has developed a new way to access our cells and multiply at even higher speeds. The more virus we have in our bodies, the more virus there is to share with others.
There is always the very concerning risk that not only will it learn to replicate faster and move through the population faster, but do even worse things. We have to get people vaccinated to cut this virus off at the knees. We can't keep giving it a chance to evolve.
And the fast spread of the variant is what's causing our COVID numbers to continue creeping upward. The three things we know about today's metrics. Number one, more than 100 people were hospitalized with COVID in the last 24 hours. Number two, our percent positive rate is inching higher and higher. And three, our cases decreased again from yesterday's numbers, making this the second day of lower case numbers, but the drop isn't significant. And there are more than 1,400 in the hospital at this time. Our daily percentage of tests returning positive is double the state's goal, sitting at 10.8% today. And we've logged nearly 2,200 new cases. It's a slight decrease from yesterday, but not by much.
Well, we are nearly a week away from the first tee time at the WYNDHAM Championship. Before tournament play begins, though, there will be, of course, new safety guidelines implemented for all fans in attendance. And Luke, this announcement was made in large part due to the recent surges of COVID-19 cases.
Yeah, Tanya, there's no need to worry for fans about attending the actual event, as that hasn't changed, but the mask policy has. The new guidelines for the WYNDHAM Championship entail masks are mandatory for everyone in any indoor setting, regardless of your vaccination status. Now, per CDC guidelines, fully vaccinated fans are not required to wear a mask outdoors, although it is highly encouraged for non-vaccinated fans to wear a mask outdoors when they cannot socially distance. It's a small but important change. Tournament director Mark Brazel says they are happy to accommodate.
We are lucky that our PGA Tour event is outside, and we've got a large golf course that people can roam, and we're very lucky for that. That we don't have to deal with just an inside venue. So we're asking everybody to socially distance as much as they possibly can within 6 feet, to be really responsible, whether you're vaccinated or not, so that we can all just have a great time.
Brazel also saying he still feels very comfortable as tournament play approaches with those new guidelines. We will hear much more from Brazel himself coming up at 5 and 6 o'clock, so be sure to keep it here right here, on WFMY News 2. Tournament play itself tees off Thursday, August 12th, down at beautiful Sedgefield Country Club.
Thank you, Luke. Well, just into our newsroom, a TRIAD retirement community will require staff to be vaccinated. Arbor Acres in Winston-Salem is requiring workers to get the vaccine by October 31st. Arbor Acres has 432 staff members, and 280 of them are already fully vaccinated. The community has 470 residents, and 98 to 99% of them are vaccinated. Officials say if an employee does not comply with the mandate, they risk termination. And New York City will require people to provide proof of vaccination for certain indoor activities. Mayor Bill de Blasio announced proof of vaccination will be required for dining indoors, fitness, and entertainment activities. This is the first city in the nation to take this kind of approach, which will apply to workers and customers alike. And vaccines aren't required to eat outdoors, and anyone who wants to go inside a venue must download the city's app or carry their paper vaccine card with them. How this policy will be implemented will be announced in a week, and full enforcement starts mid-September.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Tyson Foods is now requiring all U.S. workers to be fully vaccinated by October 1st. Now, the move makes Tyson Foods the largest U.S. company to require vaccines for its workforce. Since February, Tyson Foods has hosted more than 100 vaccination events for team members, including the Wilkesboro location. All other employees will need to be vaccinated by November 1st. The Carolina Classic Fair returns this year. Officials say the Winston-Salem-based fair will be on as scheduled. They're monitoring state and local health guidelines. Advanced discounted tickets are now on sale. Opening day is October 1st, and anyone can get into the fair for $5 all day as part of the Welcome Back Friday.
Weather, it's just ever changing, isn't it? I mean, we started out the day gloomy. Abundant cloud cover, dreary even in some locations, some cars even waking up being wet. At least I did this morning, but we're drying out now and the sun is shining, allowing for us to warm up a bit. You can see on our satellite and radar, much of the activity is well to our east. You can kind of divide the line with the cloud cover just east of us, and then the shower activity well to the east of us, really hugging the Carolina coast. And you can see even some very, very heavy rainfall with it and continuing offshore. So here at home and even looking towards our west, a much different picture. And just because we're on the crisp of that borderline of the cloud cover, some locations in the Triad are seeing very bright skies as of now. Winston-Salem being one of them. Greensboro, at least over the last hour, you can see those clouds taking a transition to the east. And then you can even see the shower activity as well now to our south, keeping us a little bit drier and getting to see some sunshine as of now for this 4 p.m. hour. Taking a look though at the rainfall totals for today, much of which are for our southern counties. Up to our north, a lot of folks stay dry, but we all did at least see the cloud cover, but not so much now. This boundary here sitting just stretching from the coast all the way down to the Carolinas and Georgia. This right here is what's setting us up for seeing additional shower and storm activity along the coast. Not the best beach week, but for the weekend, the big question is, well, can I head down there? Will it be nice for the weekend? I'll answer that coming up.
Carolina Panthers fans can get their first look at this year's team at FanFest. Watch Sam Darnold, CMC, and the team practice, and you can watch FanFest Friday, August 6th at 7 right here on WFMY News 2. That means, though, there are some programming changes, so take note and set your DVR to record these times. Secret Celebrity Restoration will air overnight at 1:37 a.m. It'll be followed by Wheel of Fortune at 2:37 and Jeopardy at 3:07 a.m. And if you miss these times, don't worry, they're all on our website. You don't want to miss FanFest next Friday at 7 right here on WFMY News 2, your official home of the Carolina Panthers.
Simone Biles takes home bronze in the women's balance beam final after dropping out of the other events at the Tokyo Olympics due to mental health issues. It is the 7th Olympic medal for Biles. The Olympian told reporters she wasn't expecting to receive a medal. She just wanted to finish a good set. Biles withdrew from the team and individual all-around, saying she was disoriented during the vault because of what's called the twisties. That's a condition that gymnasts refer to when there is a disconnect between the body and the mind. Now, Biles is the most decorated American gymnast of all time, and the internet knows that and is really supporting her for her decision. One user wrote, "We love you, Simone Biles, and we're so proud of Team USA Athletics." Robert H. Eller wrote, "This is Simone Biles at her worst, better than virtually every one of us, the rest of us, any day. I suspect this bronze medal will come to represent more to Simone than other gold medals." And another wrote, "That happy smile for winning the bronze is all we need from her. She's a role model." And then yet another person wrote, "So glad she got her groove back." And Michelle Yvonne said, "You've won in so many ways. When you look back one day, you will see that." I think it's a wonderful thing that people have been encouraging of her, and I don't think that there's another way to be.
Exactly. I'm so glad to hear and to see all these positive comments, because athletes like Simone Biles, that expectation and that pressure that they're under, it's something me and you will never experience. Right. And for her to just do what's best for her, to stay safe and healthy, she's a winner in my book always.
Yeah, that one user that said it was her worst, but better than all of us, I definitely can attest to that. I mean, it may be her at her worst, but I still think she would outperform me on anybody's balance beam any day. So definitely that one user was surely enough right. But I agree with Lauren. It's really nice to go on social media and be able to scroll and see positive messages, because we know how social media can go in other directions.
Oh, don't we know, Jalen?
Yes, absolutely. Why you pick me? But absolutely, we do know how social media can go the other way. And I was just so happy to see. I know Simone was dealing with a lot these last few weeks, the pressures of the country, the last few years just mounting on her shoulders. And for her to not be where she wanted to be mentally, and for her to get back on that balance beam and be able to produce, and then not only produce but still medal, I think that was the most important part. To kind of build back up that psyche so she can once again place herself on top of the gymnastics world next time.
I mean, and I know other people are like, oh, but we all have buy-in. Okay, there's nobody that has more buy-in than she does.
Yes.
She's the one who
Nobody.
did all those practice hours and
Exactly.
everything else. So.
Yeah. Put yourself first.
Yeah, I mean, first, second, third, you got something. And like someone said, a role model, yes, indeed.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be back.
Back to school shopping is expensive, so any discount and savings parents can get, it is helpful. 10% off, 20% off, and even more. But what if I told you you could get a pair of kids' jeans for about $270? Would you be shocked? Well, not if you shop at area Goodwill stores. Eric Chilton spoke with Sarah Butner of Goodwill Industries to get the scoop.
So Sarah, as a father of four, I can tell you firsthand, it is very expensive to buy clothes for kids for back to school. So you guys make it easy, but some of the deals that you were telling me, this is incredible stuff. Let's talk about this.
So this is the 5th year in a row that we've offered our Back to School Blues sale on jeans. And starting this Friday through Sunday, August 15th, all adult and children's sizes of regularly priced jeans will be buy one, get one free at all of Goodwill Industries in Northwest North Carolina retail and outlet stores.
You know, when you talk about savings, Sarah, I mean, from a percentage standpoint, this is a gigantic savings. I mean, I even saw, was this correct that I saw some kids' jeans below $3 a pair?
Yes, normally our children's jeans are priced at $2.69 a pair, and adults are $4.19 a pair. So if you're thinking buy one get one free, especially if you have multiple children in your family, that's a huge savings. You can get two pair of jeans for your children, $2.69 total.
Now, they always say nothing's free in life, so you have to put in some work. I mean, I think because it's hit or miss, isn't it, when you hit a store as to whether they have the certain types of things that you're looking for or not. So you may have to do some multiple visits to get your shopping done.
Sure. Goodwill sells items that are donated, but you also have to remember that our donations were up all of last year and even into this year because more people were home and able to clean out and declutter more than usual. So we are fully stocked up with jeans as well as other clothing and household items. So even though the sale lasts for a full weekend through the week into another weekend, we have plenty of jeans to choose from. We'll be able to restock our stores all throughout this sale period.
Well, always good to know that you guys are stocked up. We'll be visiting. Thanks, Sarah.
Lots of helpful information there. You can check out Goodwill's website to see which stores are participating in this program, and we've linked that to you on our website, WFMYnews2.com.
Well, not expecting much of any activity across our area, at least for tonight. And as we look to the tropics, not much going on there either. Yesterday, I showed you this area of low pressure that's just off the coast there of west coast of Africa that had a 20% chance of development. Today, just a 10%. The conditions there are just not favorable for this storm system to develop to anything of concern. However, this is starting to be the time frame where hurricane season does peak. We're transitioning into this month where we start to see greater frequency of tropical activity as those conditions in the Atlantic basin do become favorable for tropical development to occur. So I will be keeping an eye on the tropics throughout the rest of this month, next month, October, and even November. So you can see that peak there on September 10th. So I'm going to keep watching the tropics just for you at home to see what impacts potentially that could bring to the triad. So I've been keeping a close eye on this cold front as well, but it seems as though the coast is really going to be dealing with much of the activity through the rest of this week and even lingering into next week. This front really doesn't move much, and so therefore everyone on that front side of the front, you can see just ahead of it, is going to be dealing with the shower activity, and that just happens to be the coast at least through much of the week. And as it continues to move there offshore, continuing to bring some wet activity there to the coast. But here at home, we're talking a change in temperatures all coming up.
Okay, we know this phrase very well. It is what it is. In fact, we've got a coworker here who uses it all the time. So often we say it when we kind of feel powerless in a situation, as if we can't improve it or we just simply have to accept whatever's going on. In today's U-Day segment, Coach Lamont encourages us to take back our power and break free from the mindset.
A man passing by a herd of elephants was shocked when he noticed that these huge creatures were being held by a small rope tied to their front leg. Now, we know it's obvious that at any time these elephants could break free, but they didn't. Asking the trainer why these animals made no attempt to get away, the trainer replied, "When they were young and much smaller, we used the same size rope to tie them. And at that age, it's enough to hold them in place. As they grew up, they are conditioned to believe that the rope can still hold them, so they never make an attempt to break free. Now I declare over your life that the small things that once held you down will no longer hold you powerless. Never again will you become conditioned to anything. This is a new season over your life, so break free and live." This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best U-Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
You know, and I think that phrase, "it is what it is," it could also be something else. You might hear around, you know, work or whatever,
yeah,
or that kind of thing.
Or,
and it's kind of like a passing off of, and yet at the same time, you're like, okay, well, that's not an answer.
yeah, exactly. Or when I hear people say, well, nothing's going to change anyway. It is what it is. I hate when I hear that, because I'm like, you know, it can change. You know, speak up. Ask, like, you don't know if you're unhappy with something, at least, you know, ask about it, because it might change, not just say it is what it is, whatever.
Or maybe it is what it is, kind of like let you off, and then you just kind of go, okay, then it's got to get better than this, so we'll go that way.
Yeah, that could be it too. But always some wise words from Coach Lamont. We'll be right back. Scroll past this part.
Hello.
Well, welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Jalen Gilkey, Monique Robinson, and Tanya Rivera.
No, holding down the 4 to 5.
How's it feel to be back?
It feels good to be back.
You missed all of us?
I did miss all of you. I don't know that I missed my alarm clock to wake up, you know, but I miss all of you, and I miss you.
And for y'all at home, make sure you head on to our Facebook page because we are live there and we love to chat with you in between the blocks of the show. But let's jump right into our first story. A store clerk is recovering after being shot multiple times on the job Saturday night in High Point. Police say 2 men grew impatient waiting to buy beer at the Apple Tree grocery store on East Green Drive. The men asked another worker in the beer cooler section to take their money, but the worker refused. That's when the men shot the store clerk, according to police. Surveillance video shows the argument and shooting. Police say the suspects left the store in a white Jeep Cherokee. So if you have any information about this, you can report an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers at this number, 336-889-4000.
Here's the question. How do you stop gun violence and crime? The question has many different answers, including what is happening in High Point. A local neighborhood is hosting its 3rd annual Youth Summit on Violence just this week. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey checked out the summit and spoke with organizers about today's message.
You're absolutely right, Tanya. And you at home, like many other members of our community, have been alarmed by the recent spike in gun violence here in the Triad. This week, the Burns Hill Neighborhood Association and the City of High Point have put together a youth summit to stop the violence. The goal, to let our youth know they can be the change we need in our community.
Because young man's a fresh man's, and they're so receptive to things if taught the right way. So I feel like if we can get to them early, then they'll make better decisions later.
This week, the City of High Point, along with the Burns Hill Neighborhood Association, is hosting their 3rd annual Youth Summit on Violence. Association President Jerry MINGO is optimistic that this program will continue to lead our youth down the right path.
As a matter of fact, we had one student, one young lady, she was here at the last summit, and she didn't know what she wanted to do. And she said, as a result of coming to the summit, she decided to go into criminal justice, and she's at UNC Charlotte right now.
Ty Hines Wilson is one of the teens involved in this week's summit. He, like many of the other kids enrolled, has personally been affected by gun violence, but he knows that doesn't define who he is or how he can impact his community.
I want to see like kids going outside without fearing like they lives, and I want to see like adults, they can let their children go anywhere without ending up missing or dead.
Ty also hopes that this summit can teach people how to love each other and care for each other.
It's a cool story. What I love about that is that so often kids or adults think that kids don't have what is needed to make a movement happen,
Yes.
right? But they absolutely do.
Yeah. I like what he said about getting them while they're young, because you know the
Yes.
saying, when you know better, you do
better.
better. And I think programs like this, mentorship, that exposure is so important, because when children or people in general fall victim to crime or violence, it's because of what they see around them. So I think a program like this is great for keeping them in the right direction.
I think it's also important to have adults who have the heart to help these, younger children like this, because it's really important that not only are we only just living our lives, but we also are giving back to those younger generations and helping them to see better. So if they don't know better, it's because no one is teaching them and showing them better. So it's really important that we have adults in our community who are also giving back.
Yeah.
And this summit isn't just touching on, stopping the violence. There's many other topics, as well as mental health and how to make sure and check in, make sure you have someone part of your community that you're able to talk to, as well as job obtaining, dressing for success, also financial literacy. So it's many, many topics all rolled in the 3-day summit just to help develop our kids and set them up for success.
Yeah, and this is just one piece of that puzzle of solving that whole issue.
I'm sure they're absorbing a lot of information over the next couple days. Great story, Jalen. Let's jump into some of your headlines with your 4 to 5 roundup. A Pentagon police officer is dead after being stabbed this morning at a transit station outside the Pentagon. The Pentagon was temporarily placed on lockdown after shots were fired near the entrance of the building. The connection between the shooting and the stabbing is not clear at this time, and the suspect was shot by law enforcement and died at the scene. A 4th officer who responded to the January 6th attack on the Capitol has died by apparent suicide. The Metropolitan Police Department says Officer Gunther Hashida was found dead in his home on Thursday. Hashida's death follows testimonies from 4 police officers on Capitol Hill who relived their trauma from the day of the attack. A House Select Committee is investigating the attack. Hashida was an 18-year veteran on the force. And New York Attorney General Letitia James says an independent investigation confirms Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed multiple current and former staffers. James said the investigation found employees working in a hostile and unsafe work environment. The investigation was civil, but state and federal prosecutors are allowed to review the allegations in the report. The AG says Cuomo has harassed women who did not work for his administration as well, and Governor Cuomo has apologized for some of his actions, and they added they were misinterpreted. And it is National Night Out, a nationwide event designed to build stronger connections between communities and law enforcement. Right now, we're taking a live look at the event set up at Zion Missionary Baptist Church off Bragg Street and MLK Jr. Drive. Their event starts at 5, and National Night Out is intended to help make communities safer while uniting police and residents under positive circumstances. Block parties, ice cream socials, and other events like this one that you're seeing right here are taking place right now all over the Triad and across the country.
Over the last few months, we've seen more people travel as they're growing a little more confident in the safety protocols and as some of the restrictions ease. But did you know that some of those travelers are traveling for the sole purpose of getting their COVID vaccine? CBS News' Ian Lee reports on how much travelers are spending to get vaccinated here in the U.S.
Amber Chow was desperate to get a COVID-19 vaccine. She's responsible for taking care of her aging parents back in Taiwan. So she spent $18,000 on flights and hotels to get one in America.
I need to protect myself, then I can protect my family.
Because of the slow rollout of vaccines around the world, some people are becoming vaccine tourists, flying to the U.S. to get their shots.
It's not just for Brazil or for the U.S., it's for the world. Like, everybody wants the world to come back to the normal life.
Many arriving in San Francisco get the Johnson & Johnson one and done. Since May, the airport has vaccinated around 1,000 people from over 50 countries.
We've got a surplus supply, and being able to make that available for others is really a good thing, and it really helps everyone.
Thank you so much.
Meaning this trip of a lifetime could ultimately help save a life.
Well, I'm all for everyone getting outside, especially on an afternoon like this where we have fairly cloudy skies out there, some breaks in them, but overall cooler conditions, less humidity. But make sure you wear your sunscreen so you're not like me getting bit up out here in the weather garden. Definitely weather conditions are going to change as we go through the course of this week, but not because of mostly shower activity, but because of the temperatures. This is a look at the past 4 days. We were at 92 last Friday, and I'm expecting us to warm up near there this weekend. This is a look at some weather cams across our area. You can see 80s, upper 70s for you across much of the Metro Triad area. The temperatures right now across our area are in a nice mix of 70s, 80s. You can see the numbers way cooler than we've kind of felt for a while. And really, when I talk about get outside, this is one of the afternoons you want to do it, because over the next couple of days, the humidity comes back, the temperatures warming up. We're going to be feeling like August really soon, like August should at least. By Friday, you can see the numbers feeling like 90 by the afternoon. And then as we continue through the weekend, more of that is in store. Here's a look at that full 7-day. First time I'm showing it on this 4 to 5 hour. You can see we're cooler for your day tomorrow, but we're trending upward and warmer as we go into the start of next week. And again, feeling more typical, unlike what we're feeling today and what we're going to expect to feel tomorrow.
It is that time of year, back to school shopping, and you can't go into any store without seeing the layout of pencils and glue sticks and whatnot, right? But everyone has a school supply that is tied to whatever decade that they went to school. So this one is going to be for me. We got a new video to show you which one is for me. Okay, this is what it is right here. Come. All right, let me show you what really does it for me. It's this right here. It's the Trapper Keeper. It's the Trapper and then the Trapper Keeper with all the different colors. Okay, so folks, what was your school supply thing that you had to have?
Okay, do you remember the gel pens or the Milky Way pens?
Okay.
Do you remember those, Jalen?
Yeah, with
okay,
sparkles
Jalen,
on it.
you can write them on your arm and make tattoos, or put. My mom hated when I did that, but you could also put them on paper and stuff too.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so Jalen, what was yours?
I was the big pink eraser guy. Had to have one of the big pink erasers, and then the mechanical pencil with the little things you keep pushing them in.
I don't
know what it's called, but you just keep putting them in there, and it keeps going around and around and
kept
around.
clicking and clicking in class with that.
You know it. I'm pulling it out, putting it back in.
Better than going to the sharpener. Did you guys have to do the manual sharpener?
Yes, and I would make sure I had the best outfit on.
When you went to
on
the
those
sharpener.
days, or if there was a special someone in my class, I was like, I'm gonna wear this
So I'm gonna
outfit
let y'all know that
so I can go and sharpen my pencil today.
I think they phased out the manual sharper probably like 8th grade.
Stop
we
it.
had electric. Yeah, sorry, Tanya.
Stop it. I don't want to hear
I'm
it.
just
All
saying,
right.
you asked.
I know schools send out a list, and the idea is to get all the shopping done at once, right, to minimize the headache. But Consumer Reports says, hey, don't stress about it and don't make a one-stop shopping list.
Back to school shopping season is in full swing. It will run through probably mid to late September. You'll be seeing deals on all the tech devices that you'll need for the school season, whether that's laptops or computers, printers, wireless routers. And a good way to shop when you're shopping back to school is to not try to find everything at once. Shop for what you need as you see it.
As you see it. All right, first on deep discount in August, computers. You can get a Mac Mini for $649 on Amazon. The Mac Mini shows fast speeds in Consumer Reports performance tests and scores really well in owner satisfaction. Next, you can strengthen your connection. This is for school or not school, and make it more secure by upgrading your router. The Netgear Orbi mesh router system is $97 at Amazon. Consumer Reports says this network scored very good for mid-range and far-range distances in its test. So you got a 2-story house, you may want to get a new router. It'll make it a lot easier for everyone else. A quick side note here, coming up at 5 o'clock, I'm going to be talking about getting your internet for nothing or for really cheap. It all stems from the Emergency Broadband Benefit Program. All right, so again, that's at 5. So back to the best deals in August. It's not just school stuff. No. One of the biggest August deals is a vacuum. This RoboVac is $220 on Amazon. Consumer Reports says this extremely quiet RoboVac excelled at cleaning and navigating in their specially designed test lab. It may be a deal for you to get now and hold for Christmas. I'm just saying.
Well, we featured a lot of short trip vacations here on the 4 to 5, courtesy of Eric Chilton, but this time he's found one of the more unusual destinations. Here's part of his conversation with Terrell Chestnut of the Quarry at Kerrigan Farms.
Terrell, thanks for being with us today. So I'd never heard of this, and this is the coolest thing ever. Tell me a little bit about the history of the quarry. Where did all this get started?
So the quarry is a granite mine, and it was mined in the late 60s, early 70s to help build I-77. They went down once and then down a second time and hit 2 to 3 springs and filled up with water. As it's used on our property, we use it for swimming in the summer and to irrigate our crops on the farm.
So it's just a short drive away from the Triad. I think I call these daycations, where people can just kind of go down for the day and hang out. What will they experience when they get down there?
So the quarry is a little offset from the road, and it does feel like you enter a whole other place. So everybody needs a reservation to attend Open Swim, and you can make that on our website at kerriganfarms.com. And we have 2 sessions, a 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and a 3:45 to sunset session. Both of those are awesome. They're fun to come to, and you can swim until your heart's all the way content.
So I have to tell you, I'm a big chicken, and when I saw the pictures of people jumping off the sides of that thing, how big of a drop is that?
We have a few different heights. Most of our jumps are between like 8 and 10 feet. We do have a lower jump that's about 4 feet off the water, and a higher jump about 15 feet off the water, in addition to our rope swing. We also have a shallow entry for those who don't want to jump in.
Terrell, sounds like fun. I think the easy entry will be for me, but I appreciate your time today.
Very cool. And there is more information on this story on our website, WFMYnews2.com.
Right, and with the like 90-degree temperatures and the 100% humidity, this is like a great vacation.
100% humidity.
That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
It does feel like that.
Woo! I'm sweating just talking about it, Monique.
Not today.
Not today.
You were just in a cool spot. You brought some cooler air for us here.
Yeah, that's true. It is feeling much better than it was before I left. That is true.
Yeah, but by the end of the week, it's going to be different.
She hangs her head. And not like it's her fault. She's just the messenger, friends.
Yes.
I don't know about y'all ladies, but I can't wait to try the rope swing.
That's what I was
thinking. And to jump off the highest point there, because I'm kind of a daredevil, so I'm with it. He said 8 to 10 feet. I was anticipating, hoping he said a little higher than that, but we'll make whatever work. Can't wait to have a great time.
Yeah, I don't know about higher than that, but I'm with you on the swing.
It looks like fun, and it looks like something that you can do with your family for a couple hours, and it's not an all-day event. It's just a few hours, so you get all the wiggles out.
You don't have to pay for a plane ticket or anything. Just go right down the road. You said it's not too far from the Charlotte area? Okay, so quick trip there.
Make sure you bring a towel, all right?
I'll be right back. 100% humidity, Monique. All right, like many of you, I took a vacation over the summer. It was a big one for me. I turned 50, so I wanted to go to a bucket place, and I did, Alaska. Let me tell you, it was a wild adventure. Mountains are like Jurassic Park meets Ice Age. On one of our days, we kayaked across a lake of icebergs, and then we went on this glacier trek where we had to put on these crazy shoes. I gotta tell you, the trip to Alaska is long. We left at 11:30 at night on Saturday and didn't get home until Sunday at 3 p.m., right? So I took off Monday to give myself a little squish time to get back to work and recover. So I asked you on Facebook, hey, do you need a rest day after a trip, or do you get home just in time to go to work? I have 197 comments on this post. So Tracy said, I have to put all vacation items away in my house back in order to be prepared to get back into the day-to-day routine. Paul Jones said, I need a day for reentry. Richard said, this doesn't sound quite right, but I'm going to go with number 2. Debbie Greenwald says, I always come back a day earlier to rest up. It works better for me. Cynthia Ward-Reese said, it used to be number 2, but now it's number 1 as I've gotten a little older. I'm with you on that. We don't recover like we used to. Mark Rogers said, I wish I'd done the rest day in between. I just got back from vacation. It was not focused at work yesterday. Emily said, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I'm on the job even when I am on vacation. So true, Emily. Moms get no break. I feel bad. What do you people do? Do you take a rest day in between?
I think it's really important if you're in a different time zone like you were, that you need that rest day. Otherwise, your day is just all thrown off. I mean, especially the daylight, the sun, the nighttime, it's all confusing for your body.
I would definitely agree with that. I felt like a zombie yesterday. I took 2 naps. Okay, 2 naps.
Nothing wrong with 2 naps, Tanya.
Nothing wrong with that at all. I definitely need the rest day. I used to not do that because I was like, oh, I don't want to burn a PTO day. Right. And then I get to work and I'm like, man, I should have taken today off. Right. So I usually give myself that buffer day.
All right, Jalen, you're the youngest out of the bunch.
I didn't know.
Me and Jalen are the same age.
Oh, okay.
I think I am a little younger than you, but it's okay. Anyway, so I'm a big proponent of the squish day. Didn't know it had a title or official name. You could ask my mom. She'll tell you. Every time I go home, I always come back a day early because I'm like, I got to get my life back together so I can get ready to go to work. Got to make sure I'm focused and locked in. If not, I'm going to be a mess.
Yeah, I think it makes the rest of the week actually happen okay.
It does.
Right? I think if you come back like right after, you are just playing catch up the entire
just
time.
dragging.
And you feel awful for an entire week. So I'm thinking this is the first time I've taken a squish day, actually.
So this is going to be a trend.
I think this might be a trend. And Monique, I think you hit it right on the head. When you're in a different time zone, you've got to take that squish day.
Yeah, I recently went to California, and that's a different time zone. So I know exactly how it feels when you're trying to catch back up, but everyone is trying to go to sleep, but you're wide awake. It's just all confusing to the body.
So you talked about all of that daytime and the cooler temperatures. I brought you back the cooler temperatures.
Yeah, for a little bit though. Tanya, you could have brought us some more. I mean, I would have loved to feel it for a whole nother week, but it is August and it is summertime, so we don't get to feel it for too long. I mean, take a look at the shower activity that's well to our east, keeping us dry through tonight. I know a lot of folks having that question. How long are we going to see it? So for tonight, expecting to be dry, but you can see over the next 5 days, expecting for those rain chances to kind of still be in there. Here's a look at that full 7 days, showing it all in perspective for you, riding up to warm temperatures by the start of next week.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, you got it? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Callie, it is a Tuesday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Talk to you later about Alaska. Hi there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We
Okay. Mic check. Callie, where do you have me standing? Because I forgot to check. Perfect. Can I go ahead over there? Yeah.
Oh, I need to learn how to do that.
The prompter?
Yeah, I haven't played with it.
I think your mic is up. It's literally I think your mic is up.
Is up. Oh, are you guys mic checking me? I'm having IFB issues.
Jenna, they can't.
They can't.
You can't hear them.
No. Can they?
Hello. It seems like there have been problems with mic check. Oh, okay.
Hey, it's time for my 2 cents. And today, I wanted to talk a little bit about big families. You know, I grew up in a big family, youngest of 5 kids. People were coming in and out all the time. It was chaos, and I loved every minute of it. And now, I have a big family with 4 kids. But I stumbled on these pictures the other day while I was looking through some stuff, and I love these. Take a look. This is my oldest 2. Now, this is probably 3 or 4 years ago, but this is my oldest 2, Bryce and Alex, the twins. They said they wanted to help out with the little ones, and we asked the little ones, would you want Bryce and Alex to put you down? And Tyler and Drew were ecstatic looking up to the big brothers, that's for sure. It made their night. And looking at these pictures made me think, you know what? Having a big family and siblings taking care of the younger siblings is kind of part of the American way of life, right? If you had a big family, that's what had to happen because mom and dad simply can't do it all, right? I can tell you that firsthand. It warmed my heart to see these, and even today, they're all still very close, despite the age difference. The twins are about 7.5 years older than the 3rd oldest, Tyler, and almost 10 years older than the youngest, my girl, Drew. It warms my heart to see my kids taking care of each other, and it makes me happy that I have such a loving family with good kids that will work and help out around the house with not too much complaining, just a little bit. But that's just my 2 cents. And that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
The countdown is on for school, and we are now hearing from the state on their COVID recommendations.
It is following CDC guidance, encouraging all students and staff to mask